Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Welcome to another recording from Thelema.Tube. Today is going to be a reading of The Wizard Way by Aleister Crowley, found in the Equinox, Volume 1, Number 1. And today, Andrew is joining me as a guest to help do half the poem. Andrew will do the first part, and I will do the second part. And with that, let's get started.
Hello, my name is Andrew. The Wizard Way. Velvet soft the night star glowed over the untrodden road, through the giant glades of yew, where its ray fell light as dew, lighting up the shimmering veil, made and pure and airy frail, that the spiders wove to hide blushes of the sylvan bride earth, that trembled with delight at the male caress of night. Velvet soft the wizard trod to the Sabbath of his god. With his naked feet he made starry blossoms in the glade. Softly, softly, as he went to the somber sacrament, stealthily stepping to the tryst in his gown of amethyst. Earlier yet his soul had come to the hill of martyrdom, where the charred and crooked stake, like a black and venom snake, by the hangman's hand is thrust through the wet and writhing dust. Never black and never dried, heart's blood of a suicide. He had plucked the hazel rod from the rude and goatish god, even as the curved moon's waning ray stolen from the king of day. He had learnt the Elvis sign, given the token of the nine, once to rave, and once to revel, once to bow before the devil, once to swing the thurible, once to kiss the goat of hell, once to dance the aspen spring, once to croak, and once to sing. Once to oil the savory thighs of the witch with sea-green eyes, with the unguents magical. Oh, the honey and the gall of that black enchanter's lips, as he crooned to the eclipse, mingling that most puissant spell of the giant gods of hell with the four ingredients of the evil elements. Ambergris from golden spar, musk of ox from Mongol jar, civet from a box of jade, mixed with fat of many a maid, slain by the enchantments cold of the witches wild and old. He had crucified a toad in the basilisk abode, muttering the runes of verse, mad with many a mocking curse. He had traced the serpent sigil in his ghastly virgin vigil. Sursum Corps, the elfin hill, where the wind blows deadly chill from the world that wails beneath Death's black throat and lipless teeth. There he had stood, his bosom bare, tracing life upon the air with the crook and with the flail lashing forward on the gale, till its blade that wavereth like the flickering of death sank before his subtle fence to the starless sea of sense. Now at last the man is come, happy to his halidom, surely as he waves his rod. In a circle on the sod springs the emerald chast, and clean from the duller paler green. Surely in the circle millions of immaculate pavilions flash upon the trembling turf, like the sea stars in the surf. Millions of bejeweled tents for the warrior sacraments. Vaster, 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 grows the stature of the master. All the ringed encampment vies with the infinite galaxies. In the midst a cubic stone with the devil set thereon, hath a lamb's virginal throat, hath the body of a stoat, hath the buttocks of a goat, hath the sanguine face and rod of a goddess and a god. Spell by spell and pace by pace, Mystic flashes swing and trace, velvet soft the sigil stepped by the silver-starred adept. Back and front, and to and fro, soul and body sway and flow in vertiginous caresses to imponderable recesses, till at last the spell is woven, and the fairy veil is cloven. That was sequence, space, and stress of the soul-sick consciousness. Give thy body to the beast, give thy spirit to the priest. Break in twain the hazel rod on the virgin lips of God. Tear the rosy cross asunder, shatter the black bolt of thunder, shuts the swart and sanguine kiss of the resolute abyss. Wonder weft the wizard heard this intolerable word, smote the blasting hazel rod on the scarlet lips of God, trampled cross and rosy core, break the thunder tool of Thor, meek and holy acolyte of the priestly hells of spite, sleek and shameless catamite of the beast that prowl by night, like a star that streams from heaven through the virgin air's light riven. From the lift there shot and fell an admirable miracle.
Carved minute and clean a key of purest lapis lazuli, more blue than blind sky that aches, wreathed with stars her torturing snakes, for the dead god's kiss that never wakes, shot with golden specks of fire, like a virgin with desire. Look the levers, fern-frail fawns, of fantastic diamonds, glimmering with eternal azure in each exquisite embrasure. On the shaft the letters laced, as if dyads lunar chaste with the satyrs were embraced, spelled the secret of the key, sic Prevenius, and he went his wizard way in weaving dreams of things beyond believing, when he willed the weary world of the snakes closely curled, like a serpent round his heart, shakes himself and stands apart. So the heart's blood flames expanding, strenuous, urgent, and commanding, and the key unlocks the door, where his love lives evermore. She is of the fairy blood, all Smarnadine flows its flood. Glowing in the amber sky to ensorcelled prophesy, she hath the eyes of glittering flake, like a cold grey water snake. She hath naked breasts of amber, jetting wine in her bedchamber, whereof whereso stoops and drinks, reads the riddle of the Sphinx. She hath naked limbs of amber, whereupon her children clamber. She hath 5 navels rosy red, from the 5 wounds of God that bled, each wound that mothered her still bleeding, and on that blood her babes are feeding. Oh, like a rose-winged pelican, she hath bred blessed babes to Pan. Oh, like a lion-hued nightingale, she hath torn her breast on thorns to avail the barren rose tree to renew her life with that disastrous dew, building the rose, oh, the world alight, with music out of purple moonlight. Oh, she is like a river of blood that broke from the lips of the bastard god when he saw the sacred mother smile on the ibis that flew up from the Nile, bearing the limbs unblessed unborn, that the lurking beast of the Nile is torn. So for the world is weary I, these dreadful souls of sense lay by. I sacrifice these impure shoon to the cold ray of waning moon. I take the forked hazel staff, and the rose of no terrene graff, and the lamp of no olive oil, with heart's blood that alone may boil, with naked breast and feet unshod, I follow the wizard way to God. Wherever he leads, my feet shall follow, over the height into the hollow, up to the caves of pure cold breath, down to the deeps of foul hot death, across the seas, through the fires, past the palace of desires, where he will whether he will or no. If I go, I care not whither I go. For in me is the taint of fairy blood. Fast, fast its emerald flood leaps within me violent rude, like a bestial fawn's beatitude. In me the fairy blood runs hard. My sires were a druid, a devil, and a bard, a beast, a wizard, a snake, and a satyr. For, as my mother said, what does it matter? She was a fae, pure of the fairy, Queen Morgan's daughter, by an airy demon that came to Orkney once to pay the beetle his orisons. So it is that I writhe with the twitch of the fairy blood and the wizard itch, to attain a matter one may not utter, rather than sink in the greasy splutter of Britons munching their bread and butter, ailing boys and coarse-grained girls, grown to sloppy women and brutal churls. So I am off with a staff in hand to the endless light of the nameless land. Darkness spreads its somber streams, blotting out the elfin dreams. I might haply be afraid, were it not the feather maid leads me softly by the hand, whispers me to understand. Now, when through the world of weeping, light at last starly creeping, steals upon my babe new sight, light, O light, that is not light. On my mouth the lips of her, like a stone on my sepulchre, steal my speech with ecstasy, till a babe is born of me. That is silent more than I, for its inarticulate cry hushes as its mouth is pressed to the pearl her honey breast, while its breath divinely ripples the rose petals of her nipples, and the jetted milk he laps from the soft delicious paps, sweeter than the bee-sweet showers in the chalice of the flowers, more intoxicating than all the purple grapes of Pan. Ah, my proper lips are stilled, only all the world is filled with the echo that drips over like the honey from the clover. Passion, penitence, and pain seek their mother's womb again, and are born the triple treasure, peace and purity and pleasure. Hush, my child, and come aloft, where the stars are velvet soft. We hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Of course, we would appreciate a like or a subscribe. Additionally, if you want to contact us or chat with us, please check below for the link for our Discord server. If you have any Thelema content, be it video, art, music, or anything that you can think of, and it is of good quality, we will probably post it with attributions to you and links, etc. This is a group project and we want to keep it going. Thank you again, and love is the law, love under will.